The Houndsman XP podcast is fueled by Joy Dog Food. Joy Dog Food has a rich tradition of supporting the houndsmen of America. Founded in 1945, Joy is proud of its history and the relationship it has built with the American houndsman. And in 76 years, there's never been a recall. Made with 100% American-made high-quality ingredients, Joy Dog Food has one of the highest calorie-dense formulas on the market. For 76 years, this made-in-America product has kept hunting dogs in the field day after day, season after season. And when we say made in America, Joy has a long track record of fighting for American freedoms by being on the front lines against the animal rights movement and their extremist tactics. Joy will fuel your hounds and fight for your freedoms. Fueled by Joy. The Houndsman XP Podcast Network is powered by Cajun Lights. All of your lighting needs for hunting can be taken care of at Cajun Lights. They have 3 models of cap lights. I'm going to run through them real quick. You've got the Rougarou, which is their high-end light. If you're a competition hunter and you got to find that coon up in a tree and it's all riding on finding that coon, you'll want the Rougarou on your head. Next is the Bayou. That's a pretty standard light, but it's got packed with features. It's got multiple colors. It's got walking lights. It's got the red, the green, the amber. It's all built in right into that light. And then you have one of my personal favorites, the Micro Gator. The Micro Gator is an ultra lightweight cap light. It's got all the features of a white light, red, green, and amber. I've used this light for everything from finding bear tracks early in the morning to coon hunting at night to working on plumbing in the house, changing tires on the side of the road. My truck doesn't leave the driveway without a Cajun light in it, and that light is the Micro Gator. Every Cajun light is durable, made from the highest quality components, and it is backed by Cajun's top-rated customer service. Check out Cajun Lights. You can go to our website at houndsmanxp.com, go to our sponsors page, hit that link, it'll take you right to Cajun Lights. Check them out. They got a lot of stuff to offer over at Cajun Lights.
You know, we all have that one special dog hanging out on the porch. He's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. All these things you like coming together to make one superb dog. That was exactly what we had in mind when we made this show. Welcome to All Mixed Up.
Chad Reynolds in the house. Seth Hall in the house. What's going on, Chad?
Just slowing down for a minute, man. Like doing these shows really helps out a lot because I just jam my schedule so full of stuff, and like when it's a long way away, I stress out about trying to meet the deadline. But then when it gets close, it like forces me to take a second and just hang out and talk, man. I like these things. They're good.
I am a man who has now an extremely packed schedule. I have practically live on this phone, fingers ablaze, and I hate it. I have intentionally crafted my life to be maximum fun, minimum work as best as I could. And now my fun is at an all-time low. My work is at an all-time high, and it's just not sustainable at all. That's not how I like to operate. I'm a chilling on the patio with friends afternoon kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So gonna have a life shift eventually one of these days. But for now, it's grinding hard. But I am glad to take a minute, just chill out, talk to everybody. I got some things we want to bring up, you guys. It's going to be a good episode. Me and Chad are going to, unfortunately, recap the season. It's over. It's done. I went out for the last time last weekend, and it was a total dud. So that was my signal to hang up the leashes for the season. But I had a really good season overall.
Yeah.
Some serious ups, some serious downs, but that's just part of it. And my season was just one thing. Your season was like 500 things.
Yeah. But it was a great season for me too. You know, I had a lot of highs and some big changes. Not so many hard lows that it was a pretty good season. Nothing tragic happened. I didn't lose anybody.
Yeah, I guess I'm being dramatic. My lows weren't that low. Nobody died. It's just I had to retire my 2 greyhounds, and that sucked.
That's
one of the last times. Yeah. The last time you were here with me the last time, one of the last times they ran.
Yeah.
So that was a humongous bummer. But before we get to our season recap, I want to bring something up. This kind of came to me in our USDA news article thing, and I kind of wanted to just bring this up. I was like, "Ooh, got to talk about that." But I don't know if you guys have heard, but in California, NorCal, 2 brothers were attacked by a mountain lion, and one was killed and one was severely injured. And I just got to thinking immediately, all these mountain lion attacks are happening in states where they don't have any mountain lion hunting. It just doesn't seem... And now California also has millions of people, right? There's more people in the LA metro than there is like 3 times, 4 times over in all of New Mexico, right? So just with that amount of people in the wild, that amount of people statistically, it's going to be higher, yes. But that being said, these lions, they have no reason to fear people. You know what I mean? It was a pretty sad story. Yeah.
I totally agree. I like just something for fun on the inverse, let's see. One of the neighboring towns, there's a story that the game wardens were talking about. They had to handle because they had a bad hailstorm go through, right? And this probably prompted the activity. It probably scared the hell out of this lion and made him try and get away, and he just ran, But after the hailstorm, everybody kind of came out of their houses and was like looking around at all the damage, like cars with busted windows and roof damage and shattered house windows and all that stuff. And then I guess there was just some Maltese, some dropkick dog just yapping away at the distance, right? And yap. And they went over there to find out what was going on. And this Maltese, this tiny little, 8-pound dog or something like that, had treed a young Tom, but like not an adolescent. But like he probably ran through trying to, just running wild, like this area is like very remote, very rural. So like you leave, the last house and you immediately fall into, no man's land. So like it could have just been on the escorts pushing a herd of deer or something. But anyway, it
so
ran.
What you're telling me is you're going to cross rebar to a Maltese next.
No, never. Absolutely not.
Get him lower to the ground.
Yeah,
get that, like that game up.
Yeah, man, the yapping might actually lure the lions to stop running and turn around trying to eat it, something along that line. But yeah, man, I mean, that's on the, okay, in some states, lions are trying to actively are killing people. In another state, they're being treated by 8-pound animals, like what, why, and what's different here,
It's crazy because the lion attacked one of the brothers and then the other brother came to his aid and the lion transferred from the first brother and attacked the second. And the second brother is the one that got injured badly. But the lion, the first brother died. Yeah. Gotcha. And so it's like, what a shame. I think, 1994 was the last time someone was killed by a lion in that area. And it's in California, someone was killed in 2004. You know what I mean? So it's like these states that have huge populations, large lions, no pressure on the lion population whatsoever. They're leading the way for lion attacks. I don't even know when the last time a lion attacked someone in New Mexico. Yeah. Probably like 1,000 years. Let me look. Lion attack in New Mexico. Let's see here.
I bet you before it was a state.
It's all dogs. It's all dogs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that.
Okay. The last time someone was killed by a mountain lion in New Mexico was in 1974.
So it was after. Okay. Oh, well.
Yeah. You were close.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Man.
I just on the inverse of that, I want to kind of give another side. I've never been messed with by a bear. I've never been messed with by a lion. There's only one time I've ever had, like, made my ears wiggle a little bit, I guess you'd call it, from a lion. And we had treated it, and it was a nice Tom, and we're taking pictures of it. and just sitting there letting the dogs tree for a bit. And I laid down and like put my hands behind my head. I was just like looking up to make it easier, keep the crick from being in your neck. And it like lowered its head looking at me. Just kind of like lowered its head and was looking right at me. And I was with my buddy, and I was like, "Hey, man, you seeing this?" He goes, "Oh yeah," because he was like 15 feet up the hill behind me and saw that it was looking down at me, and he got the view that it kind of stretched its neck out a little bit looking at me. I was like, "You're seeing this, right?" Because I don't ever carry a gun. I carry a nice knife, and I'm pretty good with that. But let's this lion's gonna.
All right, everyone. Chad has stuck a lot of pork. Now, do you think he could take on a lion? Houndsman XP universe answer in the group. Can Chad take on a lion? How big's your knife?
That one is a spring-loaded, bench-made. It's probably like 4 inches.
Okay, Chad Reynolds, legend of the wild, 4-inch blade versus a Tom. What do you guys think? I think my money's
if I saw it coming, I think I'd do fine. It's not that I would even have to kill it. I just have to hurt it bad enough to where it wanted to leave me alone.
Have there been many cougars slayed by Chad Reynolds? I'll ask the bars of the West, and we'll see.
No,
and it was definitely with a 4-inch blade.
I got these marks from the. Oh, you guys can't see. That's right. But yeah, I got a few marks on my arms from coming through the bite suit. So I'm real comfortable in a bite suit, but it's a little different when it's a lion. See, if it jumped on me from behind and got the back of your neck,
that's what happened. That's what happened to that guy.
There's like nothing to be done for it. You just make funny noise.
He got annihilated. He got annihilated.
But if I could put an arm up, get a sacrificial, piece of meat up there, that it's never gonna be the same again, But at that point, you could, I keep my little knife buckled right there, boom, assisted open kind of thing, and 1 or 2 in the bread box, and like I said, he's gonna run off, but I don't know. I think I could get one to leave me alone.
I think we need to make a fight poster: Chad sacrificial meat Reynolds versus a mountain lion. I like that. I like that. We're making that. Okay. So anyway, I just thought I brought that up, and I was like, man. And of course, they found the lion with Houndsman. Duh. That's of course how they found the lion. Surprise.
Let's do something about it. Got to get the Houndsman involved.
Yeah, exactly. It's like ban them from hunting, but then when we need them, oh my goodness, we need them. You know what I mean? So it's so dumb. The lion population in the United States is not hurting at all. They're the only large cat in the world whose population is expanding. They are on the Western landscape because of houndsmen. In the days when mountain lion populations were persecuted intensely, houndsmen were the number one voice for mountain lions, and they still are. Look at Colorado right now. Right now. They want to ban mountain lion hunting with dogs, and the wildlife biologists of Colorado have come out against that law. They want to continue hunting with dogs for lions because, surprise, nobody cares more about mountain lions than people that are hunting mountain lions, period. And the average person that's against mountain lion hunting doesn't know anything about mountain lions. They don't know what they even eat, what they look like. That you would ask them what they eat, they'd say meat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Rabbits or, it's like, it's so silly. So I'm so glad that, people are willing to stand up for the rights of people. Colorado Houndsman XP. We're putting in our money where our mouth is, you guys. We have lots of drives. Check out Ledged Out, by the way. Those proceeds go to the fight in Colorado. So if you guys are big bourbon drinkers, which bourbon's my jam. I love bourbon. It's a single source. First barrel, single barrel. So
straight bourbon.
Go check it out.
Good stuff.
Anyway, I wanted to go over that because that's a bummer and it goes right into our wheelhouse as houndsmen. So you lion hunters, you got my respect. I still need to see a treed lion. I really want to see that. Anyway, Chad, break down your season. I want to hear some highs and lows. Hear it all mixed up. We're all about having a good time. I want to hear some highs of your season. I think I know one. Tell me some highs of your season, buddy. Let's wrap up this season in a good way for the fans. Patrons, I'm going to tell you guys already know what I'm talking about. Everyone, go check out the Patreon page. There's a lot of rad videos there, highlights from my season. Chad, what's going on?
Let's see. I'm trying to decide. I figured I'd start with that bear tree, that wild bear tree video. And I think that was in the the fall of the previous year. It might have been spring. I'm not certain. So I'm like trying
That feels like a lifetime ago. That video is
like
awesome.
Madly scroll through all my videos really quick and see when I made them. All right, that would have been in. That was in 23. So what do we? That would be last season, 23-24 season, right?
Yep.
So yeah, that bear tree was wild. You get all of us, anybody that's had a bear, it was a bunch of bear dogs, has seen one jump out of the tree and the wild show that ensues. When they do that Larry Zonka jump down into all the bear dogs.
Just a mosh pit.
Bear mosh pit, right? And but rarely do we get to see it. At least with me, there's always a bunch of cedars or something like that in the way, and you hear it, know what's going down, but you don't get to see the whole thing. And then when you do, rarely do you have the peace of mind. At least I rarely have the peace of mind to like whip out a camera and enjoy it. And then if it does, there might be not something worth sharing with the public or whatever. But I got a great video, is what I'm trying to break it down. He jumped down in there and ran after one dog, and he'd get just to the point where he's about to roll one of them, and my pack would be peppering his hind end to get him to spin around, and then he'd be just about got one rolled over, and they'd be chewing up his tail. And
yep.
Yeah, and he took. And meanwhile, I'm just standing there screaming like a wild man because I was having a blast. Just that's about all you can do to help your dogs. Is pressure the bear remotely. But if I go running in there hollering and screaming, my dogs are going to start thinking I'm mad at them. And like trying to submit to me or slow down, thinking they did something wrong, So I didn't want to physically get involved because then they're just going to be splitting their attention between me and the bear. So I just basically stood back, waved my arms, and screamed, screamed loud, trying to pressure the bear out of there.
Bear dogs be bear dogs. Yep.
Well, the bears did their job, and it worked. Like just barely.
That was a cool video.
Yeah, barely any scratches at all. Like it could have been from brush. I don't know, but nothing bad, nothing at all. So that's how it kind of got going, and then ran into the bird dog season and getting Dandy dusted off and started up. And
before you go down that road, I want to let everyone in on a little HXP lore. The bear that Chad is talking about treed is the bear on the Houndsman XP store with the Houndsman XP hat that Chad is wearing right now.
Oh, yeah.
He put that hat up in the tree with that bear looking right at him. One of the most iconic pictures of the Houndsman XP store, if not the most iconic. That was that bear, you guys, right before he bailed out of the tree. That was awesome.
Sat the hat out of the tree coming down.
I didn't know that.
I had it.
He was like,
and so I just had to set it up there, took a picture or two, and was like, all right, that's really cool. I'll let the dogs tree for a second. And he's like, I've had it. I'm coming out. I just see, like he swatted at one and like whipped the branch, of the hat was on, and the hat goes flying. And in the very beginning of that video, that's what you see. I'm like looking at one of my dogs barking. And I look back over and there goes the HXP hat, like you just barely get a glimpse of it. And I start backing up because he's climbing down the tree and he's locked eyes with me. Now he didn't even come at me, not for a second, but he might have been looking at the trail behind me, But to me, it looked like he was
enough to make you back up.
Puckering up to give me a big old kiss, And so I stood up, and I'm trying to film him. And I get off to the side, and then he met the dogs at the bottom, and if he was thinking about me, he forgot all about me, I
was going to say, the dogs met him at the bottom.
He didn't get halfway down that tree. I had, what's his name in there? Oh, gosh, how do you even forget your own dog's name for even a second? Trapper. Gosh, the big old blue dog. No blue dog in them, but most of the dogs out here are all grayed, crossed up. So there's some rattling around in the field. But he's nasty. Gosh, he's going to get himself hurt one day. But if he came down with him,
piled on that bear.
100%. I have no doubt. I'd bet my whole house that he had like 2 of his 4 paws touching that bear with his mouth. So yeah, that was a good. So that was great, But yeah, we'll have to shake loose of that video again and throw it up on the Houndsman XP page,
Very fun.
Freshen things up again. But yeah, that was a great time. And then what was it? Okay, so then got into the bird dogs, getting Dandy started up, right? And he really turned into something special and got to point Huns and and sharp-tailed grouse on his own, solo points, and really proved to be something special. And got the draughts out. They caught a crippled coyote, and stretched him out and brought him back, and got to do some of that. So we touched on the coyote, and gosh, then it poured into lion season. And had a few good trees, not as much as I like, honestly. Like it was kind of a slower.
How many you put up? How many you put up?
12. Not races, but actually put up 12.
Okay.
By the end of the season, so
it's not bad.
All right, 20's always been my like. Okay, you did good. Like you got your money's worth out of them.
True.
But yeah, I think we did. Pretty sure we did 12. I don't think it was 15. It was more than 10. So I'm going to say 12. But had a few good trees that I was proud of. Some long races. Watched some young dogs turn on and figure it out and pull ahead. That young Jip Purdy, as I was calling her, a red dog. Actually, Kenda, Rebar, and Rusty. She turned on to be one of my track starters. By the end, that's when it gets really hard. When you got so many dogs that are good enough to be track starters, that you run into issues letting them start enough tracks to continue being proficient at it. So I don't like to dump the box on Lion in the beginning. I like to bring one or two out, let them get it sorted out, and then dump everything else in it. And if you only got so many, I don't know.
Right. If you have 4 starters, yeah.
Or me, it was like she was coming up to be 6.
Oh wow!
And so I was like, okay, I'll do Purdy first, and then Dahlia's back up, and then I'll do Rusty with Rebar, and then Sammy, and it kind of gets hard. But yeah, so that was a good problem to have, though. You have enough that are worth pursuing, starting your tracks with, and had a few good trees, a few good videos out of that I get to hold on to for the rest of my life. That was fun.
Yeah.
Duck season early went really well. Had a lot of fun with that. I'm there for the retrieval work. A lot of folks like to get out early in the morning and set out their decoys and call them in, and I get that. I could respect it and I could appreciate it, but I'm not going to do it. I like the puddle jump. I have a route of ponds that I know they're going to be there, and me and Haggis and Griff will go out, and I like to, them to heel with me or stay close enough. And then when I get close, I'll just put them in a down, go up there and run over the corner. And at that point, Griff's young enough that he just blows it and chases after me. But Haggis will actually stay there until I call him. And so just run over the berm and shoot as many as I can. They all fall in, and the dogs go bring them all back to me. So that went well this year. I found a few new little honey holes, that I'll get to enjoy at the beginning of the season last year. Oh, doves. Forgot about Jolene and dove season. Went really well.
What do you call her? The Velvet Terrier. What do you call her?
Velveteen Terrier, man. She's rough. Gosh, she's rough. I did not know. Like, there was a feral cat that ran underneath a brush pile, and she lost it, but its back leg ain't going to be the same. We could just say that, and
dang, Jolene.
And she let go for a second and it disappeared, but like she was not trying to play with it though,
She's the craziest dog I've ever seen. Her eyes are just like, you can see like the whites of her eyes 40% of the time. She's just crazy.
They vibrate. Her eyes vibrate. They just vibrate in her skull the whole time, and all she wants to do is make you happy. So
she work hard.
Yeah, very. God, you can't turn it off. That's my one problem with Jolene. Is she don't quit. Her off switch is horrible, absolutely horrible. And it's like a breed. It's in their breed description that they're not supposed to be yappy, and that's a good thing, because if that hasn't been bred for, I could easily see how they're the dogs that would just bark from 24 hours straight, like every other breath. Yep. And I don't hear anything out of it. The only thing she does is this little like soft roaring yodel thing. When I go out, to clean kennels and work with, whatever dog I'm working with, but she'll like, like, I don't know. I can't do it, but that's all she does. She doesn't yap. But if she did, like if like you crossbred that thing with like a terrier's, oh God,
Oh no.
it'd be a nightmare. But aside from the no barking, she doesn't quit. She wants something to do the whole time, and so she'll just sit there and stare at you, and her ears and her eyeballs are just rattling in her head, and she's just begging for you. Oh God, tell me what to do. Am I sitting good? Is this what you want? You want me to down? You want me to sit? You want me to down? You want me to sit? And I'm like, I'm not even looking at her. I'm just watching the TV or like looking at the computer. And she's like, I'll down, I'll sit, I'll down, I'll sit. Here's a pillow. You want a pillow? Like she'll go have like 10 shoes by my computer desk, like retrieving the shoes. She won't chew them. She's got an incredibly soft mouth. She could carry my favorite pair of hunting boots around all day and there wouldn't be a scuff in them,
Yeah.
But
wow.
She's
very cute.
Oh yeah, she's adorable. But like the off switch is the problem. That's about them. But like
as a person who's owned sight hounds for this many years, I have a hard time going back to normal dogs because I just love how like they're all in my house right now and they've been asleep in the same position for like 5 hours. You know what I mean?
They could have heard me talking to you, like raised an eyebrow. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm back to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're like, go back to sleep.
Like you'd see like Joey, like just like through the camera, like we're watching each other on this thing. And you just see her little ears, her little brown cheerleader pom poms, where the ears like just go behind on the camera this whole time with a random object in her mouth.
Yeah. Every spaniel I've ever met has an obsession with carrying stuff around. Yep.
Well, that's what's cool about them, the natural retrieve, though. Like
true.
They just want to deliver. If that makes sense, they want like, here's the thing, you asked for it, here you go, and they're like, yes, 5 points, and they take off, like maybe he wants a stick, I'm gonna go find the best stick,
Yeah, I would love to have a spaniel to look for hairs. That's but I just don't need another mouth to feed. I'm too busy right now.
Yeah.
But speaking of
borrow her, just for like, you know what I'm saying, like just like a week, I think you'd have a lot of, at least she's gonna find them better than almost anything. And at least you could like
just because of the odds,
you go like, what'd you say?
Just because of the odds, she covers so much ground. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like she's so methodical.
Yep, and just busy. Like even if you like stuck, like little like nose plugs up her nose, and blindfolded her, you would still produce jackrabbits just with ground covered. Like she would just run around and like it'd bump into him. Like so,
she's like a typewriter on the earth. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
And that's how they all are. So the fieldbred blockers,
that'd be ideal. Yeah. So speaking of hairs, man, you also had a pretty good coursing season. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, we're getting there. Yeah, that worked out great, and got a bunch of new dogs. Like basically turned my kennel upside down. And found some. Identified my game winners, and the so-so dogs and the best dogs, and can make plans for next year and see where I'm heading as a kennel, and super excited about some of the new stuff I got, and got to see to test them in ways that I might not totally have been able to here. I don't think I'd ever be able to test them like I did when I came down there and got to actually get them when they got outran via exhaustion, not being unsighted, which is, it's not like that's the only time it's happened, but like, not even remotely close to that. I really got to see who's who in the yard, and that was cool. That was a lot of fun.
And multiple times. You came down multiple times. Mm-hmm. Check out HXP TV, you guys, for some of that footage. We have some of those races already on HXP TV, and all of the ones that I'm talking about that I'll be bringing up are on the Patreon page. Some of them are on HXP TV too. So, I was happy to get you out here to my place, Chad, and just show you my world and show you how we like to do it around here. I was very excited to get your dogs out there on the wide open pool table where they have just, it's what they're for, and let them experience. And I'm going to be honest, man, there's just no better way to hunt than in that vehicle. No better way, period.
It's definitely cool.
So I was really happy to have you down there. Geez, I'm trying to think. Did you have a good hippopotamus season too?
The hippos were down. The hippos were down. Rhinoceros
laughing.
are displacing them, so not quite as falconry was down. My bird lost my bird last season, so that didn't have that. But next year, was planning on a red tail, but now I'm thinking about doing a prairie falcon, which would be a little bit different than the gyr falcon.
Yeah.
And I got a
prairie falcons
buddies.
Are beautiful.
They are. They are. They can be obnoxious. They aren't as kind as a gyr falcon. Gyr falcons are considered like the golden retriever of the falcon world, Huh. And I guess a prairie would be more like maybe like a Saluki temperament, Not obnoxious, but like not quite as forgiving, Like you're gonna have to earn it,
Yeah. Yep.
And but they hit like a freight train for being so tiny. They hit really hard. Some of my predecessors that do the sighthound and falcon thing will tell stories about how, like my falcon would get in down behind them and fly right up their butt to grab a hold of them, and bind to them. And that's what was so hard out here in the sage, because it's hard for them to kind of drop down in behind them when the sage, is like waist high, and that's how they like to do it. They like to overtake it. And they're not quite as maneuverable because they're so large,
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they close the distance and as long as they're coming up behind them, like it's hard for them to, to break too far away, and then they reach out and grab them or whatever, So,
gotcha.
But the prairie falcons like to stay up high more often than not. Now you'll get exceptions to the rules, but they'll dive down and hit it rather than grab it, and hold on. Like I said, some of my predecessors love to tell stories about how the prairies will hit the jackrabbits in the back of the head so hard it'll cave their skull in and pop their eyeballs out the front of their face.
Holy crap!
Yeah, that doesn't happen all the time. That's their thing. They can be that surgical and that aggressive.
Do you think they'd be that bold in the wild, or you think that's because they're like hunting for humans? Because I don't know if a prairie would take a jack on in the wild. Do you think they would?
They do. They do. It's like if you Google them. Yeah, if you Google them, that's considered a normal prey base for a prairie. Not the only thing they do. Fur, like they'll do fur and feather, but like depending, like west of the Rockies, them and ferruginous hawks, will eat a considerable amount of jackrabbits. I even have a buddy that was out, was looking for one, and wanted to make sure he got the right one. And while they were out doing some other forms of hunting, they saw a prairie falcon stooping at a jackrabbit, And
okay, I didn't think I needed to hate prairie falcons too, but I guess I do now.
Yeah,
I thought it was just golden eagles and red tails. Worthless birds.
Personally, I guess I worry more about golden eagles, ferruginous, and prairies than I would red tails. Like red tails can do it, but I've hunted red tails for years, and they get their butts kicked, man, because they're not quite as big enough, and red tails are notorious for grabbing hold of the butt and just holding on. And like it's in their nature, almost like a bulldog. Grab what you can and then don't let go. You know what I'm saying? You're going to ride it out. Don't let go. But more often than not, they grab the butt, and then they just get beat to death. They don't die, but it'll damage their feathers. It can sprain a wing. It could do any of that. Whereas like a golden eagle just manhandles them. And then the ferruges have smaller feet, but the feet are so much stronger, and they have a little bit more of an instinct to crawl up to the head. I've been told. I don't know that one. I can't speak on that one. But the data on their foot pressure is a considerable difference.
Crazy.
But and then the prairies just knock them, senseless, and then we'll chew on them.
Have themselves a nice little meal. Yeah.
Yeah,
actually a huge meal. That jackrabbit weighs like 5 times more than the prairie falcon does. Yeah,
now that's the bonus is they'll gorge themselves and then go land on a power pole and sit there and just digest as much as they can, and they'll go back the next day, and eat off of it as much as they can before it starts to turn. So
that'd be like you don't know when you're going to eat next, and all of a sudden you just stumbled into a golden corral. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
first you attack the Golden Corral and killed it, but then now you're in it, you know?
Yeah. Yep. And you're like, you can go to the bathroom and hang out and then come back as soon as you get, like yeah.
Go sleep on the aisle or something. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's the idea, is to maybe try a prairie last year. But yeah, like I said, I've always had to help out the red tails, which is kind of that's hilarious. Watching like a jackrabbit snatch this red tail around, and you got to like go and like belly flop on the two of them trying to stop it because they can carry it. Hawks are not heavy,
No,
I'm sure, but
yeah.
like a big red tail isn't even 2 pounds, like hold on, we'd have to do the gram math. I don't want to speak out of line here. Let's go ahead and do the math. Grams.
Either way, birds are shockingly light. A golden eagle, which is a massive, massive bird, they weigh like 5 pounds. They weigh like 7 pounds. So like, yeah, they're very light. And a golden eagle can kill a coyote. I mean, they are huge birds. So yeah, and also the worst thing with feathers in this world, 3 hairs a week one can kill easily. Oh, it makes me sick.
Yeah.
The worst. If all my golden eagle falconers out there, I'm sorry. Leave the hairs alone. They're for me.
I won't do it. I don't have an eagle. I don't have an eagle, but I'll be back with a falcon next year, hopefully, or a red tail. But I don't like killing that many of them. I like to have I want to catch enough to validate everything, but I don't want to catch enough to where it makes it harder for me to find them. Kind of like the lions. I could. I take out plenty, but don't.
Yeah.
I want to tree them again,
Yep. But that's the sucky thing about coursing. You know what I mean? Like when you succeed, you kill one. That's a bummer. I wish you could just the dogs would be like, tag. Okay, I got you. Now run away and go live your life.
Right. But what do you think about muzzling them and just going for the roll?
I've heard that more dogs die muzzled than anything because they can't catch it. They'll just keep running. And eventually they can get themselves really in trouble by just muzzle punching one over and over and over instead of just finishing it right there,
Oh, gotcha. Well, yeah.
I've been told that muzzles can hurt them bad. Yeah.
I used to run my Kana dog, the Magar. I can never say that right. It was a nice lady, Audrey Hissa, bred it, and then it went to somebody else, and I ended up getting it from that gentleman, and had a lot of fun with her. She was a great dog. She was one of my first falconry sighthounds, and
she's beautiful.
Agar. Do you know how to say it?
Yeah, it's like Magyar, something like that. Mm-hmm.
Right. Hungry, a greyhound from Hungary.
Yeah.
But she developed this habit where she liked to eat them, So
Comet's terrible about that.
Yeah. The hawk or falcon is the VIP. The food's theirs, and she got to the point where the hawk would be eating it and then she'd try and grab it and run off with it, So it got to the point where I just put a muzzle on her. And again, I wanted the team was getting so good that they tried to they were catching some of them, and I wanted to on days I wanted the hawks to to put in a lot of work. So I hunted her in a white muzzle, a big old basket.
I've seen those. Yep.
Yeah. It was I think isn't that what the Waterloo or the Irish folks used on their?
Yeah, sometimes those park coursing guys, they use muzzles on them too. But that's the thing, in a park coursing setting, dogs aren't going to run themselves to death.
Nope.
With your bird overhead, it's definitely not going to happen, And
in the big sage, it's going to get unsighted. It's going to happen, with me,
so,
but with you, that might be a problem though.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And honestly, I'm sorry, Mr. Jackrabbit, but you're a rabbit. You know what I mean? It's just going to happen. But I wish I could just magically resurrect them and have them run away, I guess. But hey, that's life. That's life.
It is what it is.
You know what app I use on my phone more than any other app besides the podcast app to listen to this here podcast? I use Onyx. Onyx Maps is the most comprehensive mapping system for hunters on the market today. I use it all the time. When I was in New Mexico, I was looking at 40,000 acres of ranch that I needed to learn. I flip open onX and just start studying the map. When I'm riding trails, I put the tracking app on. It helps me get around in strange country. I could mark water sources, food sources, bear sign, just all kinds of options within onX. You need to check out onX Maps by going to houndsmanxp.com. Click on the link on our sponsor page. You'll go right to onX Maps, and when you check out, enter the code HXP20 and you will get 20% off of your order. Know where you stand with onX.
I had a pretty killer season, dude. I ran a lot of rabbits this season. The population is recovering. I actually felt very blessed. I had a lot of guests come and run with me this year, and every time I took a guest out, we were able to find hares relatively quickly, which is not always the case. You got to see a little bit of both of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I hear what you're saying, but also not, you know?
Yeah. The first time we took Chad out there, you guys, we found the first hare in like 15 minutes, maybe.
I don't even open my Coke yet, my soda, you know? Like,
Yeah. And I was just like, they put him in a hole like instantly, which sucked.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so rare. That like never happens. And then we found another one in like 25 minutes. I couldn't believe it. So that was fun. You guys, this year was my first year with the drone. And so that drone has really changed the game for me. I'm going to be honest. I refuse to walk if I cannot see what they're doing. I refuse. I absolutely won't do it. I didn't drive an hour to the prairie to watch fluffy butts leave me in like 20 seconds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I was driving a lot of miles to get to the places where I have buggy permission. But with the drone, now I'm going to these public pastures and walking. Man, my fuel bill has been at least half of what it was when I was buggy hunting only. Oh, yeah, because I'm not towing that buggy. And so the drone has been awesome. Super awesome. It's very difficult. I'm learning how to do it. I'm getting better every time. And I've had my ups and my downs. But, it seems like this year, -2, I believe, or 3. All of my best races this year I captured with the drone. And I caught a 436 rabbit at one of my favorite pastures with one of my friends, Paul Domsky, with our Salukis on the ground. And it was such an awesome race. Patrons, you know what I'm talking about. That day was insane. And I was high from that race for weeks after that. It was so crazy. First of all, I really got to see what Comet was made of. Comet, he is an unbelievable athlete. He is super fast for a Saluki, and that dude can run forever. However, here's his downside. Every dog's got one. He is happy to let other dogs do the hard work in the beginning. He always comes through in the mid-race, and he loves tough rabbits that start running away from the pack. You'll see him just start passing dogs and getting to the front. But sometimes he plays games too long, and then it's tough for him to get up on the rabbit. That he's lost a few. Not all of them, but a few doing that. I don't know what he decided that day, but we got up that hare, and it started just leaving the pack. And in the first minute, Comet blew so far ahead of the pack. I'm like, 70 feet above the pack in this drone. And all you see is this runaway that's like way out in front of the pack and Comet alone. That's it. And it is so fun to like fly that drone and call the race for everyone on the ground. I was like, the pack's after him. I was like, he's a tough runaway. And then I'm flying. I'm like, Comet coming into second. Comet in the lead. Comet pulling away. And like Justin was laughing at me because I was like, Comet now 40 yards ahead. 60 yards ahead. Like, I was just like, Comet's in the lead. He's reeling him in. Like, I'm going crazy. And Comet like marched up on that hare and turned him into the pack. Strider, bing, magically reappeared as Strider do. And those two boys got the hare, reeled back into the pack, and they started working him. It was so badass watching Comet just leave everyone and reel that thing in. And I was flying that drone, and I was like, dude, Comet, he's a bad mofo. He's a bad mofo on a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an easier hare, he's like, yeah, I'll let Strider do all the work. Because Strider, he gives it 110% every time. Guys, here we go. I caught a 5-minute, 7-second hare this earlier this month. Chad, you know how crazy that is.
Oh yeah. To have the dogs doing that or even there, let alone a catch at that point, like that's.
I was just floored. And unfortunately, my superstar Comet got peeled away on a fence. He won't fence, but Strider, that's my boy. And he comes in like a greyhound in the first minute. I mean, he is running so hard. You want to talk about vibrating eyes. His legs are moving so fast that it looks like his legs are vibrating. You know what I mean? He's so agile. He rolls up on him. But then in the end, too, Strider's so good because he's got heart, son. He's got so much heart. You'll see, guys. It's on Patreon as well. Go check it out. Strider makes a move for this hare at 441. Almost catches him. Barely misses him. Falls down because he's so exhausted. Does like a barrel roll. Gets up and is like walking to get back into the race. He has to like build up his speed from a walk. He's so exhausted. And he still manages to march back up there and drive the hare right into another dog's mouth. It was amazing. So that both of those races had every aspect of a crazy race. The one that I've had with Paul Domsky, the hare ran so it ran a mile or a half a mile out. Comet turned him, reeled him back in, brought him right by us, you guys. The race went so close to us that I could hear the pitter-patter of the hare and the dogs running by. And my homie Paul Domsky, he's badass. He's a cool guy, man. He is a super chill, reserved dude. And it was so crazy while I'm flying the drone to hear him yelling to the dogs and like running over there to cheer them on because they were like 60 yards away. And he's like, get them, dogs!
However far away and then coming all the way back.
Yeah. Justin was like, they're coming back. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm flying the drone, so I'm seeing it. I can see those little dots in the upper right corner, upper left corner of the drone's, view. And it's and I'm wearing goggles, so I can only see what the drone sees. And then I start hearing that and that's the hare coming by. And then I just hear like of all the pack scream by, and Domsky's just like, get them, dogs, get them. And he's like running over there. Oh, it was electric. It was so awesome. And so, they got up on him. Then the hare got to a 2-track road, and you've seen what happens when these wide open octane prairie hares hit a 2-track road. I was like, oh no, he's a long gone dude. No. Strider put on the afterburners, pure heart, baby. He runs up on that thing, turns him off the road. I'm freaking out, you guys. I lost my voice. I'm going insane. I'm flying overhead. I'm calling the race. I thought for sure he was a goner on that road. And this is late, you guys, late in the race. We're talking like 350. This is crazy. And he turns it off the road. I'm like, Strider turned him. The pack's moving in. Comet brings up like a 5th wind. He's been dominating this race. Comet gets up there, turns the hare, bends it, didn't turn it, bends it, forces the hare to turn its path gently. The hare beelines it for a herd of cattle. Strider gets in on him in the bend, turns the hare away from the cattle herd because they like to run through the hooves of cows trying to lose the dogs. And then Comet swoops in, turns him. The pack almost has him again. And then that little badass jumps to the left, clears Comet's mouth by inches, you guys, inches. And then his Strider's brother, Lemmy, closes the gap with this awesome run up and catches him. Check it out on HXP TV, you guys. It's episode number 3, I believe. Salukis Catch a Jackrabbit. This race was unreal. Go check it out. I mean, I just broke it down. You know how I get, Chad. I get crazy, man. I love a good rabbit race.
It's
the 5-minute...
The drone footage is incredible, and that's what I really like about it. And I mean, it's cool to observe, and like that in itself is an awesome reason to have one. But like getting to see yours, the thing I really like about it is a lot of times I don't, if they go out and they catch one and they bring it back, I mean, I can look at my Garmin and kind of see who is up front, but I don't really know what's going on, you know? So the ability to have eyes on it, to see who's actually pulling the weight and, you know, who's doing more than just running along and everything like that. So, I mean, it's recreational purposes, you know, just, you know, getting to observe is great. That's incredible. But just on top of it, if you only had the reason to be able to select and identify, you know, for breeding purposes and just kennel management, like that's it.
You know, I talk to other coursers and I'm like, oh yeah, break your dogs down. What do you think? And they're like, I don't know. Because they do it all out of my sight. And I always forget that not everybody is hunting. And I'm going to be honest, I'm very fortunate, but I've also made that fortunateness happen by working to get these permissions and then figuring out how to make the drone work. And it's like, to me, if I can't see my dogs running a hare, I'm out. I'm going to sell out and I'm going to get into like turtles or something that I can like keep up with and watch. Yeah. Like I can't not watch them. And there's just, oh man, like I love it when they got that rabbit beat down. And here's the thing, okay, I'm gonna highlight one other chase, you guys. I went to one of my favorite pastures in New Mexico. I want everyone to envision this with me. This is a prairie at 7,100 feet altitude. We are way up here. The pasture and this is the one I took you to, Chad. The pasture that we hunted on is 29,800 acres without a fence. All right. That whole public land complex, which is, Chad, help me describe this place. The tallest thing out there is like an ankle-high bush, you know? And
yeah, definitely.
It is an ocean of like shin-high to like toe-high grass. And it is like the most perfect place to run a rabbit. It's 118,500 acres of public prairie. And so it's unlimited space to run a rabbit. It's one of my favorite places in the world. We go out there with Justin and my buddy Justin Heiss. He's the bomb, funniest dude in the world. And we are out there hunting, and it's tough to find a rabbit out there, you guys. We've had death marches. I mean, Chad, we had one, you know what I'm saying? And we get out, we get ready, we get the dogs out, we start walking. Chad, I walk like 50 yards, jumped the first rabbit. I couldn't even believe it. I almost was in shock. When it came up, I almost didn't believe it. And they took off. I got the drone up, get down to the pack. They're working him so hard. Comet blazes up there, turns him right back into the pack. Here comes Strider. And this is our A team, you guys. This is the A team. Justin has two bitches that are out of this world. I have Strider and Comet. I like them a lot. They do their job. Those four combined are murderous. You know what I mean? Like that hare was in his form. He saw them coming up and he was like, okay, so the farm goes to son number one. The house goes to Janine. Like he knew it was over. He was signing his will. He took off and the pack worked him down. Strider got in behind him. Characteristic Stry. He gets in behind him, starts blazing, turning, boom, 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 he looks like a barracuda right behind that hare, closing in the distance. I saw April, Justin Superstar, coming in from the right. You guys, they fan out behind a hare because they want to try to cut him off in any direction he turns. Strider was right behind him. The pack closes in on him, surrounds him all at 40 miles an hour. Cheeto, oh, blessed Cheeto. She blazes up the center, grabs the rabbit by the back leg, and that's it for him. He's done. Yep, the farm went to the kids. Janine got the car. You know what I'm saying? And that's all he wrote. We caught him. We're freaking out. That was like a minute race. It was easy rabbit, but it was so good, so satisfying. That's what you want. Early in the day, we found a rabbit fast. We caught an easier one so the dogs aren't destroyed. We went out and rested them for like 20 minutes, got out. Chad, we found another one in like an hour and had that 5-minute, 7-second race. That race had everything, you guys. It had freaking the rabbit ran through a fence, then the rabbit ran through a herd of cows, then the rabbit ran over a train track, then the rabbit ran through a herd of antelope, around a windmill, through power lines, under a tree, and then finally the dogs caught him. And it was through a mammoth effort, a monumental effort by the absolute A team to reel in a hare like that. I wouldn't even say, Chad, that hare was rock hard. I would say that hare was titanium, son.
those are the kinds of hairs. That's Harvester Stallone. You know what I'm saying? That's Harold Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean? Like you don't get those very often. Hell yeah, dude. What a race. Oh my God. You guys, I'm losing my voice just talking about these races. Anyway.
Then you got the video of it, you know, so you get to capture it and hold on to it forever.
I've watched it like 500 times already. So yeah, check that out on Patreon, you guys. You've seen what I'm talking about. To all my coursers out there, you guys, thanks for your support. You guys have been the best. I actually just got some messages from some hunters that are not Sighthound guys that were just like, didn't even know it existed. And one dude said that, and the other dude was like, hey man, I never thought it'd be that cool, but I'm really enjoying the Sighthound content. That made me feel great. You know, when an old lion hunter is like, this stuff is actually badass. I did not expect that. It felt cool, man, because jackrabbits are so underappreciated. They're just stupid and worthless. You know what I mean? To the average person. And I don't know, man. I mean, they're a superior life form. They're so badass. How many times do you hound doggers catch yourself thinking about an awesome hunt you had, or retelling this great story with family and friends around the dinner table, and all you have to remember that moment is some terrible cell phone picture, or worse, no picture at all? Well, Houndsman XP is partnered with Rough Cut Company to help solve your problem and make beautiful pieces of art to remember for all time your experiences in the field. Rough Cut Company is an American-owned and American-made business in Wisconsin that specializes in custom, unique photo engravings on hardwood that are framed to any picture you want. They also do customizable antler dog chews and even beautiful, unique antler rings from their own red deer in Wisconsin. Rough Cut Company can do pretty much anything you ask. Their customer service is second to none. Give them a look at roughcutcompany.com, and when you check out, make sure you check out with HXP 10% off to get a discount on your final purchase. Check them out, you guys, and support people that support houndsmen and help keep us in the field and remembering those times forever. So yeah, anyway.
I love them. I mean, to the point where I'm getting beagles for this coming season and to just try and have fun with them in another way, you know?
Yep.
I definitely want to be able to run sighthounds on them, but I got some areas that are too thick, you know, that are just too thick with sage that I really can't enjoy them with the sighthounds at all. And but would like to learn a little more about them. So this coming season, you know, it's actually here in about 2 or 3 weeks. I'll be getting 5 pups that I'm going to start on jackrabbit, on blacktail jackrabbit, and see where that goes. I know there's people that have tried it, and I know some people have done it here and there, but so far I haven't found anybody that's like, that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
They're dogs, and jackrabbit dogs, you know? I have two,
I guess, different conflicting thoughts. One, maybe you'll be a pioneer. Or 2, maybe no one does it because it doesn't work. I don't know. We're going to find out.
Definitely possible. And I've always wanted to get into running coyotes too. So
with beagles?
Yeah, definitely. I know. I got a buddy down in Louisiana where I'm getting these dogs from. Runs his on deer and coyote. You know?
What?
So, yeah.
They can bay a coyote.
Dogs. He used to do the competition stuff, and he had a lot of luck with it, you know, and he's getting older, you know, and kind of had his fun with the comp hunts and just is liking the meat hunt stuff. And, you know, coyote pens are still a thing down there. So he has an easy way to train on them, you know, and deer hunting is still legal down there with, you know, deer dogs for a whole month in Louisiana, December. I think the month of December, last I checked. Check that and don't just go do it. But I'm pretty sure it's the whole month of December.
Legal advice with Chad Reynolds.
But I got multiple videos of him pushing coyotes with beagles. Multiple.
Now, can they bay the coyote, or do they just push it out to the gun?
They just keep pushing it, and you just listen for them, get out in front, and try and get them at a road crossing.
Gotcha.
Or
Yep.
what I would have thought would have been a blast is, because they're not running hard with the beagles. They aren't making them run for their life, so they kind of just fox trot out in front of them. Just that that little trot, 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 and that's plenty fast enough. But that gives you time to get out in front and kind of set things up. And I figured it'd be a blast to send some either coyote dogs after them or
that's what I was thinking.
Take a shot at them, or whatever, send my Salukis to, like mine, the ones I have right now wouldn't finish one, but they'd roll them, enough. There, and then he would do very bad things to that coyote. And then bring it back.
I'll tell you right now, everyone always asks me, will your dogs catch a coyote? Yeah, they'll catch them. Comet loves to catch coyotes. That's like one of his favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all he's going to do. He likes to bite them on the tail. They spin around to show him that ivory, and he jumps back, and he runs in circles around them until they run again. And then he bites him on the tail again. Yeah. That's his favorite thing. But the thing is that when he bites him on the tail and runs around, that's plenty of time for haggis to appear.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That he would be, I'm coming, little buddy.
One time we jumped this younger coyote. This was so funny. I was in tears laughing. We jumped this younger coyote, and it was just Strider and Comet. And the coyote was running for everything it had. And Comet was just running beside it, barking at it. And that really made me laugh because this coyote is running and he's like, what the hell kind of coyote is this? He's just running beside me. And then Comet bit him on the tail.
Can you imagine what's going through its head? I can't get away from this thing.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, I can't get away.
Exactly.
There's nowhere to go.
Just
He's barking at me and calling me a little punk. What do I do? There's no trick will work.
That was Comet's first time ever seeing a coyote.
Yeah.
So he was just like, "What is this thing? This is the weirdest looking rabbit I've ever seen."
Mm.
So anyway, that'll be fun, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is a Seth Hall shout out to the world right now. My sight hound, scent hound combo hunters. I know there are dudes out there that are doing it with scent hounds driven out to sight hounds. Hit me up. Let's make something work. I want to see this. That would be badass. Yeah. I'm down. I want to do it. So, Chad, let me know how that goes. I'll be up there, man. That'd be really fun to hunt with you. I'll come find you, and I want to see your little beagles. Everyone knows I've made it no secret that when I was up there hunting with, when Charlie hosted me and I was hunting with David Church and Missy Fix, that was some of the funnest hound work I've ever done in my life. It just had everything perfect going for it. Game density, chill, fun experience, adorable little hounds producing game left and right. Mm-hmm. The dogs caught them without guns. You guys know how I feel about that. I got nothing against guns, but I sure like dogs that get it done without people. So it was cool. I mean, not that a rabbit's that hard to beat down, but it was fun. It was a really good time. So Chad, let me know how that goes. I'm
going to have to figure it out. That's the hard part. It's something new. I like the new challenges and stuff like that, but like you say, I don't know. Maybe the reason nobody does it is because it's not worth it. But
we'll find out.
We're going to find out.
Where's your pointing pig at, dude?
Oh.
What happened to that?
Yeah, well, the whole thing went away, to be honest, but for those that got to hear that briefly, we for a short period of time there was talk of a pointing pig, quite possibly. I still got 6 of them. We just wrestled them down and wormed them the other day. What's that?
I saw you throwing them down and worming them.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I didn't really commit to it. I'll be honest. It didn't happen. Between work and play and all the things I know I could do to have fun with,
you had to do it. You brought you back to your roots.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll have another litter for next season, of course, maybe get some free time and
there you go.
And then
all right.
Pig.
I want to see it. You can do it. If anyone in this world can do it, it is you. So I'm no pressure, of course, but that's what's going to happen. Well, we're closing up on an hour, brother. What do you think? You got anything else you got to add to this illustrious talk of the magnificence and majesty of the black-tailed jackrabbit and all the other stuff that you do?
No, just just hoping to have as much fun next year as we did this year, man. New things to try. The Saluki team I got is coming in, and I look forward to them.
Yeah.
And the Beagles will be something new and exciting to give a shot. And, and then whatever bird, be it red tail or prairie falcon. And then,
nice.
So I won't be starting any new bird dogs of Dandy or Draught, and that'll save me a lot of time and allow me to pour a lot of time into the falcon and the Beagles. But
as I say, nothing's easier in this world to start than a rabbit dog. You're just like, look, boys, a rabbit, and they do it all on their own, like everything else. Yeah. So I like that. But yeah, well, cool, man. I got nothing. I just want to let everyone know. I mentioned it several times in the episode, so I'll keep it brief here. But go check out the Patreon page, you guys. This is where all the cool stuff is, and check out HXP TV on YouTube. That is where we host a high action YouTube show. Look, when you guys watch a YouTube video, you guys watch a YouTube hunting video, you do everything, you do it all the same. I do the same thing. Look, you fast forward to the cool parts. So Houndsman XP TV is supposed to be just like that. Me and Chad give a very brief overview of what is happening in the video so you know what's going on. We're not trying to like sell you a recipe and tell you our life story and like all this and that. We're like, hey, we're out hunting. This is where it happened. This is where we're at. This is the dogs that are running. Now watch. And we bring up the clips. Yeah. And so you can watch it. We got epic courses, lion trees, bear trees. What am I missing here, Chad? We got falcons and sighthounds combined. There's all kinds of stuff. So just go watch cool videos of dogs doing stuff. And there will be some awesome hog hunting content coming up. But if you want to see the cool hog hunting videos that YouTube doesn't allow, it's on the Patreon page, you guys. So go check that out too. YouTube has very strict guidelines about hunting footage. So Patreon does not. So there's a lot of cool bulldogs doing their thing on the Patreon page. So anyway, that's all I got, man. So if you're good, then let's hunt them hard and treat them like heroes. And we'll see y'all next month. Go check us out on YouTube.
That's right.